Welcome back to Resident Evil 5. It's only been like a couple of months since I've actually done one of these. The DLC for both Lost in Nightmares and Desperate Escape, along with all the other Gold Edition DLC, finally came out on PC. So here I am finally doing these two DLC campaigns. I mean, I could have done these on console, but I'm abysmal with the controller, so I wanted to wait until the PC version came out before I tried these, before I showed you guys how to do these on professional mode. We'll say one thing though, like I played Resident Evil 1 HD, or I played the remake version on the PS4, and it's so weird going back to the DLC here because the mansion is trying to be similar to the mansion from the first game, but it throws me off so much because like, oh, this room's not supposed to go here, it's supposed to go here. But regardless, while you throw Jill over that pit, and while she's trying to unlock the kitchen door, or the dining room door for you, come all the way over here and go pick up password 3. Now, on the other side of the bed, there is a weapon drop, but I'm going to tell you guys this right now. The weapon drops and a lot of things in Lost in Nightmares, at least the first half of it anyway, are completely random. So I'll point out a few instances where the randomness takes effect, and one of the things that's random are the weapon drops. But I'm going to say this right now, it does not matter what weapons you get, because I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that I will not be firing a single shot at a single enemy throughout this entire DLC. So in terms of weapons, it does not matter what weapons you get. The enemy spawns might be different in a few places from what I'm showing you, because this was literally a one-take recording. So I will point out a few things that I didn't get to see or show in this particular recording. But this first part, no enemies will come after you until you pick up the shield emblem at the top of the stairs after you open it up at the piano. Now, I kind of lied when I stated at the beginning of the video that I wouldn't be firing a single shot. This is the only part of the DLC where I fire a bullet, and that's only because it saves like a couple seconds. I mean, honestly, if you wanted to, you could just wait for Jill to finish playing Moonlight Sonata, and honestly, I wouldn't blame you because it's a good song. Or you could just be like me and, you know, take aim at this little button and just fire at it. Like I said, not mandatory at all. You could just run in there, grab the emblem. But, you know, it saves a couple seconds, so why not? So there's supposed to be a Guardian of Insanity that spawns in one of two locations. You saw that I waited there for a minute? That's because you can actually hear the Guardians of Insanity as you're walking around. So if you hear him at the top of the stairs, wait until he breaks down the door and then run past him. This guy, just wait at the corner. Like, the other spawn is right where you just saw. So just wait at that little corner and then just run past him afterwards. So now we're going to go get emblem number 3, the third piece of paper. Now, if you're doing this with two people, have the other person just kind of wait around in the dining room so you can light it on fire sooner. Also, while you're running past this door, this is kind of a bit of an idiot decision. I should have remembered this, but before you run past that door that we just ran past, make sure that you have Jill pick that lock, just so that saves a bit of time later. Come over here, pick up these grenades. These grenades will save your life. So, and this is probably like one of two instances I can think of where incendiary grenades are actually useful. You can ignore whatever weapon's there. I picked up the Magnum because, well, why not? But I'm not going to fire it, so I don't even know why I picked it up. And it wasn't bad enough that I ran past the pick lock door once. It was the fact that I ignored it twice here. Yeah, see? Look at that. Stupid Chris. You should have ran back there and really opened up that door so you wouldn't have to waste a bit of time later. But oh well. That's fine. So anyway, we're just going to bring the heat-sensitive paper all the way back to the fireplace so we can, I don't know, see invisible ink. I don't know. Maybe this is like some national treasure shit or something like that. It's a good thing we didn't bring any lemons with us. Or that we didn't need any lemons. I'm sorry. But regardless, we have all 3 passwords. And now we can head all the way back to the room where Jill was supposed to pick the lock, but I forgot to do that. So we're just going to run back there, put in the passwords, and then we'll be all good. But yeah, like, Resident Evil 1, like, I really enjoyed it, actually. I mean, I had to, look up a guide for a few things because I got impatient. But otherwise, I fairly enjoyed it. And going back to this DLC, the first time I played this DLC, it took me like an hour and a half to beat. And, I did get frustrated and I did get lost a little bit, but lost in nightmares. Ha 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 ha. But I really enjoyed like old style Resident Evil. I like this game a whole lot, but I have a soft spot for old Resident Evil now that I've actually gone back to play some of the older ones. So, once Jill gets stuck in this little trap here, you have to run all the way over back to where we picked up the heat sensitive paper. And so, oh, excuse me. And then you just wait by this door. Jill will shoot this door twice with her pistol, and once that second shot goes off, you can instantly open the door. And then we can go in and save her. Awesome. Now, this is another really random part, because the Guardian of Insanity can spawn right here in that door that I just stopped at. It can also try to be right in front of this door that I'm at right now. So as you can see, I'm kind of like positioning the camera so that I can see through the little grating on the top of the door to see if he's there. But as you can see, he's actually right there, so I have a straight shot to just dart right into this room. Now this is kind of strange. If you're playing this in co-op, if a Guardian of Insanity comes in this room, but you're standing in the room at the trap, he just leaves. So I kind of stand around in that trap area for a bit to see if he comes in, because he'll just walk straight back out, because the enemies won't go after you there. So now, because he wasn't in front of me, we can just keep going. Normally, if he's right in front of you there, just throw an incendiary grenade at him and stun him, and then just run past him. You only need one incendiary grenade, but I like to have that second one just in case. And oh geez, frames dropping, no. But once you get through that hallway, it's smooth sailing until you drop down into the little prison area that we're about to enter into. Now here I got a little high in wishful thinking, because I thought that if Jill was already at the other lever that the gate would stay open and I wouldn't have to wait here. But sadly that is not the case. I wish it was otherwise. So now we're just going to run all the way down here to the end of the hallway. And then there you go. That's the first segment done. It's pretty easy. You can really quickly fly through that. Not challenging at all. I will say one thing though, while we're in a bit of an interim before we encounter more enemies. This is not going to be an S-rank run. This and Desperate Escape are not going to be S-rank runs because, let's face it, I don't really care about the ranks for the DLC because the game doesn't keep track of them. But this Guardian of Insanity, he'll always be at that corner. So just wait for him to attack and then just run past him. Now you want to pull out your hand grenades and throw one at this wall to blow it up. And sometimes the other Guardian of Insanity gets stunned. But as you can see, threw an incendiary grenade, stunned him, just keep running past him. Oh wait, I lied. This is where I used my other incendiary grenade because I still had it because I didn't use it earlier. So this Guardian of Insanity, I throw the incendiary grenade at him, but if you still have your other hand grenade, which you should, throw that instead at him. I prefer incendiary grenades because they blow up right as soon as they touch the ground. But anyway, lift up this gate so that Jill can get in, pick up the key. Now, you want to intentionally trap your partner in there. And also, you might want to pause before you drop down just to make sure there aren't any guardians that are there to grab you. Then you want to run through here and fall down this pit. Now this is the only time I'm going to be using a restart trick here in Lost in Nightmares, and that's just to get Jill over here. The gate actually does open up so that Jill can get over there, but sometimes the Guardians of Insanity like to follow her, so I do a restart just to make sure that they won't follow me all the way down here. Wait for Jill to pick up the gold crest, run past. That Guardian of Insanity was really close to me there. I honestly don't know why he didn't grab me. He really should have, but they're usually a lot farther back, but this time apparently they were just a wee bit closer, I guess. But trust me, that does work. I've done it a lot, so don't worry about that particular section. And now we're into probably the most random part of the DLC. This is definitely quite the luck-based mission, because this segment usually either goes really well for me or it just goes completely downhill. But This is actually one of the recordings where I managed to do insanely well in this section. Pretty much everything went the way that I wanted it to, and it just all lined up perfectly for me this time. I have no idea why, but whatever. So right as soon as you spawn, in both Chris and Jill's spawn point, there's a flash grenade and a first aid spray. The computer is unfortunately too stupid to pick up these items, so if you're playing with a second player, make sure that both of you pick up both those two items. So you want to run up to the red trap, climb on top of it, go to the left a bit, and climb up here. Now, the cranks are random, so you could end up with a really crappy crank. Like, if you get the blue crank first, I hate that crank, so you're in for a rough time if the blue crank happens to be first. But in this recording, the red one was my first one, so that actually turned out to be quite nice for me, and I was really lucky. Now, once you put your partner on one of the cranks, they seem to be invisible to the AI player, or to the enemy players. So you can use this to your advantage and instantly start cranking stuff up right as soon as you find their cranks. So we're just going to wait until this is all the way up, because you could see earlier that I could actually see him through the grating. So now we want to actually run up and trigger him. Now we just want to slowly walk backwards until we get to the trap. I think that your walking speed is about the same speed that they come towards you, so don't run because you might actually get too far out of their range. And you know, if you have to get away, just kind of like sort of like tap the run button to get away. So there's our first one done, and we can put it back in the little slot there. Now normally I'd take a restart here just to make sure that the enemies go the way I want them to, but honestly you don't need to do that. It's just something I like to do just to make sure that everything goes the same way every time. But you want to head back to where the red trap is and head through this little area here. Now make sure that you stay a pretty good distance away from this particular Guardian of Insanity so you can go get this crank without alerting him. Now I think that was the violet crank. So now we want to come back up and around over to where the red trap was and climb up over there. Now, something to keep in mind on professional mode is that you can't see the Guardian of Insanity on your radar. You have to be able to see them normally. You cannot rely on the radar this time. But this Guardian of Insanity won't break down that door until you get relatively close to that area. So you have to sort of run over there and then wait for him to jump up and then jump down and run past. Don't worry about the dead bodies in this area. They usually won't be the thing that ruin your run. However, one does manage to nail me a bit later, and it's the biggest jerk move in the entire game. Now this was really dangerous. If I had gotten grabbed there, I would have died. But thankfully I had a flash grenade so I could save myself there. Now, I do put in the violet crank, but I'm not actually going to need it. So, yeah. And this was a bit of an idiot decision. I ran the opposite direction of the way I was supposed to, so I kind of have to go down and all the way back around. I was actually supposed to go all the way to where the green trap was. So I kind of have to go all the way around in a circle, and yeah, this could have been very dangerous as a result of that, because I went the wrong way. Now, this would have been really dangerous, but this actually worked. It actually helped me, because by having to go all the way around, I triggered both of the Guardians of Insanity to start running after me. By the way, when you're on your way to the green trap, make sure you pick up the crank that's here. That was the blue one? Yeah. So what ended up happening was both of the Guardians of Insanity started running after me, right? So what this allows me to do is I can come over here. There's a dick move dead body right there, and he is just put in the worst possible spot. So, after I put Jill on top of the crank, here's what happens. Once I get past dick move dead body, both of the Guardians of Insanity are right next to the green trap. So we just pull out our flash grenades, stun both of them at the same time, and since they're both right there, I could get both of them with the same trap. and I don't need to bother with the violet crank at all. So, just sit all the way back here. That is the second time in my entire Resident Evil 5 career that I've managed to do that. And it's the first time I managed to do that solo. So, this run is quite frankly the best run I've ever had, just because of that. And before you put these last two pieces of the medallion inside the slot, make sure you put that last crank in, so the checkpoint, in case you die, saves the crank being there. But yeah, I was so happy that I didn't have to completely redo, or not redo, but have to go back around and use that other crank. Like, see, look at that. The Guardian just completely ran past Jill as if nothing happened, or if she wasn't even there. But if you're playing a co-op, he definitely would have seen her, and she probably would have died if this is co-op. But now that we've gotten the last one, oh, he blocked it. Yeah, if you put the trap all the way up to the top, on veteran and professional difficulty, they can actually block it. So you have to run in there and either punch them in the face or throw a flashbang at them. I usually punch them because I try to save flash grenades unless it's the last one, so, you know, do whatever you want with that. Oh yeah, with the two that I got earlier, if there are two of them underneath the trap, which is the most you can possibly have at any point underneath the trap, there is no way they can block it. I mean, if they did, that would be pretty cool, but I've never seen it happen in the 2 times that I've done it. So, yeah. That was pretty lucky. Normally, that takes a lot longer than that. Even if I had only gotten one, you know, getting past the second one wouldn't have been a big deal, because I could have just... If I had only gotten one, I could have flash grenaded the other... Oh, wait, I don't have any flash grenades. Shit. I could have just waited for the second one to jump down from the ledge, and then you could just run up past him. So, it really wouldn't have been that big of a deal if the other one hadn't gotten past, but, you know, it helps that I got both of them. You really don't need to get the pistols from the dead bodies, because you don't need them. Because I'm going to show you a really cheesy strategy on how to beat Wesker here. So, basically what you want to do is just run around the arena. Just like in the 5-3 boss fight with Wesker, there's a time limit to the fight. So, if you just wait around and not shoot him, you will win. And the game doesn't care whether or not you beat him via actually dealing the damage to him, or if you just wait out the time limit. So, I take the safer approach on professional mode, and I just run around the arena. So what you want to do is running around the outer perimeter, constantly calling for your partner. This will cause them to come fairly close to you. Whenever you see that little mini cutscene where it focuses on Wesker before he dashes towards you, that means he's going to pick either you or your partner. When this happens, if it hits your partner, or when that mini cutscene starts, I should say, stop dead in your tracks. So you and your partner will be fairly close to each other. Like this, stop in your tracks or like slightly move backwards and melee Wesker when he hits your partner. If you get hit, just wait for your partner to get you. In 2-player, this is pretty foolproof because if you use the locate partner button and hold forward, your partner will be instantly right behind you at all times. So when the mini cutscene starts, stop dead in your tracks, or if you're using an AI partner, like kind of move backwards so that you're in close enough of a distance, and just hit the melee button, and you will rescue them. Lather, rinse, repeat, and you will win this boss fight. How much the AI gets hurt kind of depends on a little bit of luck, honestly. I've never had the AI die in this part, but I have come pretty close a few times, and I think in this run I do actually come pretty close. But this strategy does work if you're doing this 1-player. With 2-player, it's pretty much an automatic victory. So there you go, there's the cutscene. I go backwards a little bit just to make sure I'm in range. And there you go, do the melee, and then we just run away again. But yeah, this strategy works really well, and it works basically every time. If you're doing, like I said, if you're doing this with 2-player, it will work every time. But if you're doing this with the AI, you know, you might come a little close, but it'll still work just about every time. So we just have a bit more time to survive before we're done. But this is fairly simple. If you're doing this strategy on amateur, I think that this will actually kill Wesker. So if you're looking on getting that achievement, on normal or on amateur, I think this will actually work if I recall correctly. Come on, just a bit more time. There's not that much time left. Come on. The time limit's not too long either. I mean, it's not like 7 minutes, like in the main story fight. But there you go. That is the end of Lost in Nightmares. There you go, folks. That is your achievement, or trophy, Night Terrors. There's your hard work, or not really hard work at all. That was actually fairly simple. Like, look at the time limit on that. So, Lost in Nightmares is really easy to not S rank, but just to beat in professional mode. Well, actually, I should say this now. If you're going to S rank this level in professional mode, honestly, it's not that hard. Like, as long as you take a pot shot at, like, I didn't fire a single shot throughout this entire DLC, besides, me firing at that button earlier. So if you never fire at that, all you have to do is take a pot shot at one of the Guardians of the Sand, and you get an S rank on that. And maybe get a few of the score stars, there you go. That's how you get the S rank. But otherwise, everything works just about the same way every time. So, with nothing else to show, I guess we'll see you guys next time.